on this week's episode of I-45 Confidential.
That's a violation. That's an ultimate violation.
It's one we can never even fathom.
Right.
It's not. So it wasn't just girl code. You realize at that point that you really are out here on your own.
You see my husband out with somebody.
I'm telling.
Baby.
Okay.
Oh, baby.
That's what I need you. That's what I need you to do.
They're not going to even make it past me before I'm texting.
Girl code is a thing.
A real thing.
But yeah, I'm glad we agree upon that.
Yeah.
It's like gum that you spit out and then I pick it up and put it in my mouth.
You are about to witness a conversation, a confidential conversation between lifelong friends. For more than 3 decades, they've laughed, cried, yelled, danced, traveled, and learned together. They are experts in nothing, but experienced in life. Welcome to the conversation, and welcome to I-45 Confidential.
Welcome today to I-45 Confidential Podcast. We have Elise that's with us today.
Hey, Authentically Elise here. I'm rock steady and I'm ready. Let's go.
All right. And then we got Kim, our social butterfly.
Hey, y'all, it's me, Kim, the social butterfly.
Can we have
Until
Mo?
I'm
Mo in the house too.
Hi, I'm the unicorn of the group. I had a baby at 40.
And my name is Royshell. I'm the friend least likely to call you back. If you're in an emergency, hang up and call 911. Don't call me. Okay, today we're going to talk about girl code. It's the thing. So I have a very unique experience with girl code. I have mentioned it several times, and I think I'm going to mention it again. I have a really close friend of mine. There are different types of friends. They're more like sisters than they are friends. I had a friend who I would have taken a bullet for. Like, she was my closest friend. When my father passed away, she came that morning, spent the whole day with me to make arrangements when my husband, my ex-husband at the time, went to work. Come to find out years later, I'm divorced from my ex-husband, and I found that she is dating, in love, and going to marry my ex-husband. Of course, she didn't tell me because I got a little bit of an anger problem. Because I asked her, I said, why didn't you tell me? And she said, you know why I didn't tell you.
Ticky, boom.
It was very interesting because I think I said to myself, if she would have told me, I'm just thinking through it. Maybe she would have talked to me about it. We could have had a discussion and it would have been.
Do you know yourself?
Who is she talking to?
Have you met you?
Yeah, but I really think that if she would have came to me and look, I saw him and I'm just starting to have feelings. Let's talk about it. And we could.
You know how we've spoken about how you just go black?
Clone. She's not real.
Well,
Clone.
Sometimes I think we could have made it, you know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe it's wishful thinking. So when I found out about it, she came over and we had a conversation. And I remember telling her, I know her very.
She came to your house?
Yeah, she came to my house.
She came to your house.
Yeah.
Where she knows where everything's hidden.
Okay.
Knives.
And we laid in the bed because we're those kind of friends. And we had a conversation. I remember telling her, he is not even your type.
You should have rolled over and choked her.
No, I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that. That's how much I loved her.
This is crazy because we haven't heard this part of the story.
Yeah, she came over and I hadn't seen her in a while because she falls off the face of the earth and I do too. And I was happy to see her and she was happy to see me. And when I told her, I said, he's not even your type. And she said, you're right. And I said, you know what? This isn't about him. This is about me. And I remember she going,
Yeah, bitch, it's about me. You was my friend.
No, not just that. No. It's like she wants to be me or stay in my shoes or be close to me or whatever. It's something about it. It's not about him. He represents me. It was I remember she stopped and goes, is this what this is all about? And I tried my best to say things happen, people fall in love, and you don't get to choose who you fall in love. And that is true. But that was the last time I had a decent conversation with her.
But okay, I think you need to expound on that. It was about you. Why did you think that was about you?
Because I've been able to...
Have you talked to your therapist about this?
Yeah, I talked to my therapist about that, but mostly about the anger. A lot of things I was able to do, she wasn't able to do. And it looks really glamorous from the outside. Exotic husband and all this stuff and things. And then my child, she just gets to step into my shoes, gets to take care of my child.
But it's not like she didn't have children.
Yes, but it's
husbands.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure it was
a nice looking, because I remember the first one.
Yeah,
it was across the street.
Yes, yeah,
they're very nice looking.
Yeah, she did, but her self-esteem is never. She's a beautiful woman, by the way. And a 10 on a scale of 10.
I haven't seen her in decades.
She was holding on to it for a little bit. Now she got over that hump. The hump. It's a hump. When she got divorced, she had a mommy makeover, putting it back together. That's, whatever it is. But because then there was a story with my daughter. But so after that, so we had that conversation. And then after that, I turned it to somebody else. When I say that,
The hoe?
no. So what had happened was, at the time, I had came back and I was with my daughter, and we had never changed the divorce decree. So I was still the custodial parent, even though when I left home, I left her with him. Mm-hmm. When I came back, I took her back. And he says, you can't do that. I said, the hell I can't. It says it on the paper. He took me to court. Mm-hmm. And so I got served. I remember that day, thank God nobody was home. So I'm working from home at Apple. Sarah is asleep. It's Saturday morning. I get a knock at the door. I'm being served paperwork for Sarah because we're going to take her back to court. I'm so angry, I don't know what to do. I log off from my job. I get in the car, leave Sarah home, and drive over to his house. I get to the house, I knock on the door. Thank God they were not home. When I say that, I mean that. No one's home. I'm knocking on the door, no one's home. I go out, I go back to walk to my car, and I decide that everything I want to do to her face, I'm doing it to her truck. Mm-hmm. Yes. And when I say the neighbors across the street they came out. They saw me doing that to the car. Then they took
destroying the property, destroying the truck.
Yeah, and then they had cameras. They were taking pictures of me. And I'm performing for the camera. I get in the car. I drive off. They walk across the street. I drive back and then do the other side of the truck. And what's interesting is that
we do not condone this type of behavior at I-45 podcast.
I was out of sorts. So that same evening, Sarah's dad had his visitation. So apparently he had called the police. And the neighbor said they had saw me. But the only person who can file charges was her. She didn't file charges.
I'm sure she didn't.
She did not file charges. So when my ex-husband came to my door to pick up my daughter, he gonna tell my husband, you see what your wife did to my fiance's truck? And my husband said, you see her do it?
How about that?
He trying to show pictures. And while he's trying to show pictures, he's skimming through. A picture of a ring comes up and I see it. When I say my heart because that means the story develops. That means
going forward, right? It's becoming a reality.
It is. And I remember having conversation with her. I said, please don't do this. Please don't do this. And she says, I can't. And I said, it's not going to work out. And I said, I'm not saying that to be mean. I know him and I know you. And I think the thing about this, the betrayal was so strong to me.
Yeah.
Because, and I told her, I said, that's the one thing, like I would have bet my life she wouldn't have done that. Her, no. Take my life. If she doesn't take my life, then that's when you realize you're wrong. You don't really know people like you know them, and you can't really trust them. I was so mad about that. You took that away. What I think people will say and what I think they will do, I don't know at all because I thought I knew. I thought I knew. I hate that that was when I said you can only hate somebody that you loved.
Yeah.
You can only hate somebody that you loved. And when I say I loved her, she was more than a sister. And every time I said that to him, he said, what do you mean by that? I remember the first summer she went away, we would write letters to each other. That's back when people didn't have internet. Our long distance plans. And I remember her mama found the letters and said that we were secret lovers.
Oh, God.
The hell we all writing?
But when you miss somebody, I miss you very much. I can't wait till you come back. Because we really did love each other. Like it's almost like a falling in love. We loved each other. There was no extracurricular activities. But you know what it feels like when you find almost like your other half. And then our lives took a different turn, especially when I ran away and didn't tell nobody. And then her life went a different direction.
Did she ever come visit you?
She didn't come visit.
Yeah, but just because your lives went in a different direction and you came back together doesn't mean that she slides into your, I don't want to say life, but she just slides into your house and into your position as a wife of your ex-husband and stepmother to your child. That's a violation. That's an ultimate violation.
This is one we can never even fathom.
Right. No.
Like you could almost say, okay, you messed with him, whatever, but you married him.
Yeah.
It's a whole different level.
Not only that, but I just, God, when I think about it now, the whole situation, the whole thing, because after that, it didn't turn out well. That's the worst part of it.
Oh,
if they would have got
to warn her.
But if they would have got there happily ever after,
you weren't like I told you.
No, because I didn't wish for their demise. At least it would have led to something.
It wasn't worth the friendship. The loss of the friendship.
Yeah, for somebody who I knew it wasn't gonna work out with.
Right.
And then when we didn't talk, we lost all communication at that point. And at that point, her daughter had a grandchild, all this stuff, the family sick. I know them. They know me. Mm-hmm. Not only do they know me, they know my family. Her mama hung up with my mama, who hung out with her sister, who knew my cousin. There's a whole thing, but I didn't get to be part of it. Now I'm on the outside and they're on the inside. Mm. And there's nothing I can do about it. And then I have to hear from my daughter, which she's very good about being tight-lipped until she's
not.
She's not. And then when I say that, loose lips sink ships.
Titanic.
Don't let it, And I remember having to tell my family, guess who my ex-husband is dating? Oh,
What did voice say?
oh God.
Ooh,
I can't repeat it on camera.
Give us the abbreviated clean version.
And then shoot, that yeah. None of it can be,
Okay.
He essentially said that broken people hurt people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I
you
know.
can hurt people. Hurt people do hurt people, but that's a line you don't cross. You don't
That's
cross
a lot.
the line with your husband. You don't cross the line with children. You don't cross the line with, especially these are people that you love, that you genuinely love. You just don't do that.
Yeah. And I told her, I said, it's like you knew my sacred ground and you decided to build a house on it. Out of all the 5 billion, 8 billion people on the planet,
You choose that one.
but there's just you have 2.25 million. I don't know. Out of all of them, you want him? And then and I remember she told me, she said, I know you're going to think this happened while you guys were still married, but I promise to you it didn't happen that way. I said, I can't believe shit you say. Ain't nothing you say right now at this point. It don't matter. And all that, what's interesting about this, so I'm in Paris. I get married. I have a new husband. I want to bring him back. I need verification here because I don't live here. So I need somebody to give me their check stubs, their bank statements, and their tax returns for the last 3 years. She's the only person I could call because we are that kind of friend family. She said, no problem. No problem. She sent all of the information without hesitation for my new husband to come.
I think this is just my opinion. I think that's a smoke and mirror. Just my opinion. You know what I'm saying? If I get him over here, then she's not going to have as much attention on what I've done over here. Let me just get her here.
But she said at that point none of that had happened. Again, and she said what had happened was, from my understanding, so there's a place downtown in Houston called the Empire Cafe. He said that they crossed paths in the parking lot and he said hello. And he asked her to go have coffee. And I remember saying, she said, at what point was I supposed to tell you? From the very beginning? Girl, guess who I saw?
Guess who I had coffee with today?
Yeah, exactly. They go over to Nico's, which is next door to Empire Cafe, and they have coffee and realize they have a lot in common, so to speak. They have a fruitful conversation. And then it starts. She kept saying, at what point was I supposed to tell you? I'm telling you from the beginning.
Right. And as a friend, if I run into your man somewhere, hey, it's a high and by situation.
Yeah.
I'm not going to coffee with them.
No.
I don't care. And 9 times out of 10, if it's an ex and I'm your friend, I'm not even going to say hi and bye. I'm just going to pretend like I don't see them. I would never put myself in a situation where anyone could say, oh yeah, Kim was with, I don't want to say your husband's name.
Yeah.
I would never put myself in that situation.
No.
Because that's how shit gets started. Never. I would have called you and be like, oh, I saw and said hi, said bye. He invited me to coffee, but I didn't go. 9 times out of 10, me being the person that I am, I would have called and said, girl, guess who I saw? So that you don't betray your friend's trust like that.
Can I ask you guys a quick question? Okay, so my guilty pleasure is always Love and Hip Hop. On this season, talking about the same thing. There's 2 girls. I don't remember the names because I can't remember anything. But she used to date this guy 15 years ago. They kicked it just a little bit. Wasn't even like a public romance. Now, the other girl, she ends up running into this said guy. And they start kicking it. Now, her thing was, well, you know what, that was like 15 years ago and y'all weren't even serious. So why are you mad? She said, it's not the fact that you're seeing him, it's the fact that you didn't say nothing. She said, it doesn't matter how long it's been. She said, if you would have been like, girl, okay, you remember Tony back in the day, the one you was kicking? Okay, yeah, I got a crush or whatever. She was just like, you just didn't say nothing.
You got to say something. You have to say, because you got to take it to the forefront so we can have we talk about everything else. Why the hell we can't talk about this?
I don't think even, I don't know, maybe just being me. If it was 15, 20, even 30
But it wasn't
years,
like the man. That I understand a little bit more. Okay.
Yeah, but this was my husband, my ex-husband with my child.
Yeah, that's different. I was just giving a different example of what people think like that. Your situation is totally
It's totally different. But the basis remains the same. She should have said something from the get-go.
Right.
And she didn't say something from the get-go because she knew in that first meeting that they had. Right. She said yes to that coffee. She was going to be able to tell you.
And all that. What's funny about it, I ain't even mad at him. Never once was I mad at him.
And I get that.
And because first of all,
he's a man.
He is a man and all that, but our contract ended. We have a divorce contract. Our friend contract
That's different.
Supposed to be for life.
For life. And not only that, but we're having a discussion. We're not really talking about it, but I'm talking about it. And she stops and tells me something that happened when she was a child, something significant.
Now, curious. I just thought of something. Do you think it would be fair to be able to divorce your friend? Because I've known some of my friends longer than I knew my ex.
Yes.
Yeah.
Divorce your friend.
Yeah.
Divorce your friend in a heartbeat. I do it all the time.
It's on our topics.
No, but just like you have to go get a paper.
I mourned her like a death.
See?
I can see that. I can understand.
And when I said death, but and also death is also like you look at pictures of the person and you miss them and you think about the past. It was literally like a death. It felt like a death, like somebody had died.
Because it was a death. It was a death of your friend, your sister, someone that you truly love.
Your soulmate.
Your soulmate, right. That was a death.
Yeah.
And I could definitely understand that. Very few people I would truly mourn if I lost their friendship.
Mine wasn't drastic, but I told y'all about the friend that I lost. You've had friends over life. Move away from them. Not y'all, obviously. Natural death to the friendship, right? But this was somebody who was really close to me. And like I told y'all, in a drunken moment, she treated me less than.
She didn't protect.
Yeah,
She did not protect me. We were both in a vulnerable state. And I get it. We talked about this last night. I get it. You did it in a drunk moment.
But it don't matter.
But
It
Don't
doesn't
make-
matter. Because now it's done.
Yeah.
And I did cry that night. But after that night, it was done. It sucks. There's been times over the years I'm like, yeah, she would really enjoy this or whatever, but it's over.
You can't literally.
Once a friendship is done, it's done.
It's done.
Like it's just done. And yeah, you might miss that person, but it's just done. I have friends.
It's done, but let me tell you, I'm sorry. If she ever needed me for anything, it could have been serious. But if she needed me for anything, I would still be there.
Character.
I could call her.
Good
And I
character.
think that she would, I think vice versa. She wouldn't be my first call, but if I needed it.
Would she be your second?
If you had
No, she wouldn't be my second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth.
If you were desperate.
If
you were
I was
desperate.
yeah. But I have a lot of, I have a lot of good sister friends and some really good male friends.
Yeah. And you know what's interesting is, and I'm just finish off the story. She goes and does that, ends up marrying him. I'll never forget because the weekend of their marriage was my weekend for my daughter. And we had always been back and forth when it came to weekends because whenever he was 5 minutes late, I'm calling the police. Whenever I'm 5 minutes late, he calling the police.
Yeah, we're at that place.
We're at that place. And this weekend was my weekend.
Did they have a full-blown wedding or just
No, they went to the
courthouse?
courthouse, but they had a really big reception with colors and stuff. And so
Colors and stuff?
they have the theme and
Colors,
everybody was wearing the colors and it was, really fancy.
I thought it was a Moroccan thing.
No. And then I was going to be petty.
You want to drive through?
No, it was my weekend. She don't have to go. Legally, it's my weekend.
Oh, I got you.
It's legally. And then my husband, he was petty. He ain't go. I said, I can't. This ain't about me. This ain't. And all that, but Sarah was going to be part of the wedding.
She had a relationship with her.
Yeah, she did. She really did have a relationship with her. That's
And not
one-
just because she was going to be the stepmom. She had a relationship because
That was her aunt. That was
Yes,
Anthony.
exactly.
Yeah.
But she was, when we were really close, remember I had moved, Sarah was much younger, so she don't remember the whole relationship with her. And then I was happy that she was my daughter's stepmom because I figured she would care for my daughter.
How long did this marriage last?
Technically, because this is the thing. So all this is happening. I'm out of the loop of things. I'm out of the loop. I don't know much. At one point, she moved out the house because maybe she got a job. I'm figuring, I know Arabs, that don't normally happen. But anyway, they still married, whatever. She moved someplace. They going back and forth to visit. Still weird. So after a time, I don't hear anything. So I asked Sarah about it. She says, I don't know. I haven't heard from her in 6 months. We haven't seen him in, I said, 6 months. And he said, every time I asked my dad about it, he just said they're busy. But they're married. You can't be away from somebody this is not a thing. If they live within driving distance, you're going to be there.
That's the cooling off period, 6 to 9 months.
And one morning,
How far was this into the marriage, though, at that point?
5 years in.
Okay.
Oh, a lot longer than I thought.
Yeah, 5 years in. But so I'm on Facebook. I get a random message. And I noticed it was 3 days before at 4 o'clock in the morning. It's from her. Because remember, she don't have the rest. She can't call me on other stuff. And it says,
I'll be damned.
I'll be damned. So it says that I just want to say that you were right. And that everything you said was correct. And she said, I just hope that you can forgive me and I hope that you're doing well.
And in your head, you was doing a George Jefferson dance, weren't you?
No.
Kicking that leg back.
Did you forgive her?
Yes. Forgiveness is something. This is the thing. So then I was thinking, I remember telling a couple people, like, oh man, maybe she got canceled something. She trying to, shit. You know what I'm saying? Trying to clean it up before it's time. And I waited a couple days, and I remember my daughter we had a conversation with my daughter. My daughter said she had missed her. And I said, I have her phone number. And I let my daughter call her. Then my daughter came in the room and said, she wants to talk to you. Remember, I warned her, she dead. She a ghost, as far as I'm concerned.
So you needed a medium.
Speaking from the other side.
I'm speaking from the other side.
So you would both say the same?
Okay. And so I get on the phone, I say hello, you know, it's familiar. Like the person, you know this person. And it was almost a relief. I almost want to cry. I miss her. I miss her to this day. I miss her. To this day, I feel like crying. I miss her. And she said, Sarah knows I haven't seen her in a while. Her father and I are going through a divorce, as you know. I said, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. And she said, I wanted to continue a relationship with Sarah, but her dad refused. He told me not to call her. I didn't want her to think I abandoned her. And remember, Sarah has abandonment issues when I left. People just go and you don't know where they are. They don't call. They don't nothing.
Then they think it's their fault.
And so I said, and she said, can I tell Sarah that her father and I are no longer together? Because he refused to let her tell her. And I said, I'm her parent. You can do that.
Yeah.
And so I gave the phone back. And I remember Sarah coming in and saying, stuff just happens between people. People fall out of love. And she said, it was coming up on Thanksgiving. And she said, can I go and see her? Because they lived in a different city. And I said, okay. So she paid for Sarah, the first time she ever took a plane by herself, to take a plane up to where they stayed and had Thanksgiving with them. She was in the middle of a divorce. You know what that means? Everything is a pawn.
Oh, she used her.
And then by default, he thinks that I was in cahoots with her. I don't play on the same team as her no more. It's one thing to do it to my ex-husband.
Yeah.
But not to do it
It's
to your
another
kid.
thing to do it to my child.
Yep.
And I remember my daughter saying, because it hurt her, she was hurt when she realized what was going on. And she literally went to court and said things that was happening between my ex-husband and his daughter. That's between Sarah and her father. As indication, that's the reason why this is his character. That ain't got nothing to do with you.
Wow.
She was trying to take all his stuff. You didn't buy that house. That ain't your house.
She didn't just leave the marriage quietly. She tried to take.
No, she tried. But you think he going down without a fight? So they had a really contentious marriage. They got married in 15. By 18, she had moved out the house. 2018, she had moved out the house. They didn't get along.
Please don't think that I'm saying anything negative about this, but I don't think that I would have trusted her with my child because you've already violated me once. I would have probably listened, but I never would have trusted her with my child because you've already shown me who you are. And there's no way I would have sent my kid on a plane hundreds of miles away with someone who I'm no longer safe with. I wouldn't have done that.
And I did it for Sarah.
I understand why.
I understand
I
that.
did not feel comfortable with it at all.
I definitely understand that.
Yeah.
And I probably would have had to have that conversation with Sarah. I don't know how old Sarah was, but she just would have had to have that conversation and she would have been disappointed.
I did tried to have the conversation with her. But every time I heard myself talk, I sounded like I was being selfish.
No.
I was trying to have the conversation with her. I said, I don't want you to go. You should on this thing. It just felt like now.
Because you were realizing, at least for you, coming from a pure place, that this was about Sarah. And
Yeah.
Sarah's relationship with this woman that she's had
Not
for
just
her
the
whole
woman,
life.
but the whole family.
The whole family that she's had her whole life.
Yeah, yeah.
I understand that. But I also understand Kim's point too, like, no.
And that's in her daddy. When I say her daddy was hot about this,
I don't blame him. I would have been upset too.
when I say hot, and then he said, you doing this on purpose. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't wish anybody's demise
Exactly.
at all. Matter of fact,
I can understand his feelings though, but knowing you weren't coming from that place.
But I could come from that place because he know me good.
Yeah.
But it wasn't coming from that place.
Right.
I was giving her grace.
She just wouldn't have had it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
She just wouldn't have had it.
But that's the grudge holder though. So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'm sorry. And please let me explain as to why I hold grudges. Because you're so good to a person. You love a person and then they turn around and they just do something so devastating, so ugly. I won't say I don't forgive people. I do forgive people. It's just that I know that I don't have to deal with you. I know how to handle you a certain way. And yeah, I mean, I hold grudges just because I know I'm a good person. I am a good person.
Sometimes we wonder why things happen to us and we don't understand that it's something we need. It's something we need. I was so not okay. I had to go to a mental hospital. I was not okay.
It's a huge betrayal.
And it just and not only that, but I realized I hadn't mourned my father. And so it literally, everything came at once. I get out the hospital. I have a meeting with my daughter's school. My daughter's in special education. I have not been to the meetings because remember I lived in a different country. This will be the first meeting that I'm attending. I have just literally
Straight out the hospital, huh?
Straight out the hospital. Okay.
So you don't have a relationship with these teachers?
No, at all. They have a relationship with her dad because he's ever present, okay? Threatening people and everything. And I remember telling my auntie, I'm going to this meeting. She said, you just be quiet and be calm. And I said, girl, I'm not going to do nothing. I'm not going to.
Wah, wah.
Okay, hold on. So I get to the meeting and it's about 8 teachers around the table. They have everybody, the special education coordinator, the principal, the vice principal.
So you went to an art.
I went to art meeting. Okay. Yes. We have an art. And so they're getting ready to start the art. I feel a lot out of place because they're talking about Sarah and that's a weird thing. And about 10 minutes in, her dad comes in, right? It's all Black women around the table. His dad comes in, sorry, come in, sorry, but sorry, I'm a little late. Hey, y'all, whatever, but they know him, whatever. So they're going around the table and they're talking about Sarah's, things. So they talk about a couple things that's a little disturbing to me. Like, why has it not been fixed? Why do y'all think it's funny? There's one thing they're saying that she likes to go and touch people's hair. Now she's at the age that's not acceptable. You know what I mean? That's not okay. I let her do it. You don't let her. That's not acceptable. Socially, she can't. You guys need to work on that.
You weren't ready for this conversation.
I wasn't ready. I'm mad at this point because y'all supposed to be doing something y'all ain't doing.
Are you still mad?
Yes, I'm still mad.
Yeah, you sound a little angry.
I'm still mad.
How long ago was this?
Sarah's 20, right?
Yes, I do.
Just check.
Because and I wasn't there. When you're there, you can handle it. We finish up the ARD meeting and everybody leaves the room and I tell the special education coordinator, it's me, her, and Sarah's father. And I said, you go get Sarah because this is the last time she's going to see us in the room. She calls and finds out where Sarah is. She turns around to me and says, at this point, I'm holding Sarah, basically. She's with me because I have custodial right. We haven't been back to court. But she was with her father for the last 4 years. It is not right I'm doing this. It's petty.
It is.
It's petty. But I'm doing it. Okay. I'm admitting him right now.
Telling us what happened. Okay.
So the special education coordinator turns around and says, Sarah misses her dad. And I go, her dad is an asshole.
Oh, shit.
Well, yeah. And she said, that's not very nice. And then she goes on a whole story about her daughter and her ex-husband. I'm not even listening at this point. I noticed that my ex-husband has a ring on his ring finger.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So she finished up her story, whatever. And I say to him, I said, congratulations. He says, thank you. He won't look at me. And I said, look at me. He will not look me in my face.
Did they have to call the campus police to get
Hold
you
on.
up out
I'm
of
not done. I'm not done.
No, it gets better.
It gets better.
It gets way worse. Not better.
I say to him.
The story's better.
The story is better.
I say to him again, look at me. He won't. I can physically feel the fire in my belly coming up. I could not get out the room fast enough. I jump across a table.
Oh, jeez.
That previously held 8 people and pin him against the wall by his neck. I am going to kill him.
At the school in front of your daughter?
No, my daughter's not in the room.
Okay, but at the school.
At the school in front of the special education coordinator. I'm going to kill him. I'm done. You're going to take away my child and you're doing this shit. When I say I was done, I'm trying to kill him. The special education coordinator is trying to get me off of him.
Why she do that?
She getting hurt in the process. We in the back of the room. We fight we moving every piece of furniture in that motherfucker, taking stuff off the walls. I'm trying to kill him. I know it because you have that feeling like I will.
No, we don't know it, Shell, but
no, literally. If I would have found something, it would have anything, a blunt object, something. So we're fighting all the way around. She is trying her best to get me off of him. And I'm fighting both of them at this point. I'm mad. We get around to the front of the door. We're in the back of the thing. We fight all the way around to the door. She's trying to get us apart. She gets to the door. She opened the door. She finally, all of his clothes on top have been ripped off of him.
Jesus.
The only thing left is his collar. And I'm holding on to it.
It reminds me of the episode of Family Guy when Peter's always fighting that chicken and they go through all this stuff. So y'all went from room to room.
No, it was only one room. I'm holding his collar and she's let him go. I look past him and I see my daughter. She's walking toward us. When she sees us, her face lights up. Maybe we're doing like a group hug or something. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm. And then 3 seconds later, sorry.
Take your time, baby.
It's okay.
Her face turns to despair because she knows what's happening. 2 teachers run and get her and say, go this way. And you see her trying to turn back around to see what's happening. I let him go. I go and sit down because some people going to come. I need a break. Come. I'm gonna call up, do what you need to do. I sit down. I remember a teacher came in and said, what you so angry about? What happened?
Girl, why you in here acting like that? Baby, I need to know. What is that? You want a water?
Okay.
Come on in my office and let's just sit down and you could just talk to me.
And I told
Mind you, I'm not a counselor, but I sure would have been.
And
like,
I told him, I said, he is engaged to marry my closest and dearest sister friend. Oh, girl.
That's me.
Okay,
girl, no.
I'm telling you that. And I'm sitting there. I'm so calm, I don't know what to do.
I'd have been like, girl, I understand.
I
understand.
I am calm. I'm calm. And so I remember my auntie told me, Lord. So I'm waiting for the police to come because they going to come at this point because I didn't attack his ass. And then the teacher, it's a felony to attack the teacher.
It is.
I know.
He's a public servant.
It's public servant.
Yep.
You think I cared at that point?
No, I'm
okay.
Sure not.
I didn't care.
To black.
Okay. I didn't
Were
care.
you in Spring School District?
It was in Aldine.
Aldine. Oh, that's even worse.
The campus police come and get me, and I have to go over to their holding cell. Mm-hmm. And I remember him going, "What did you do? What you doing out here?" I said, "I just lost my temper a little bit."
Did they go through the papers like, shh, no, not a little bit. Shh, shh. Ma'am, there's 6 pages here.
A little bit. So you go over to there, and then they have to take you down to Harris County. I ain't never been down to Harris County. Okay, I ain't never ever had no problem.
Me neither.
No, not all that, but it's a Thursday night.
Oh, you gonna be there?
Not all that, but that Friday we had a meeting with the realtor because we looking for a house. I guess I ain't gonna make that meeting. Okay,
You have to reschedule.
we have to reschedule that. We have to reschedule. Remember, I've been out the hospital 2 days. 2 days.
Obviously.
2. I'm just saying. So eventually, I got to get booked to go down to Harris County. Every time somebody see me, they go, "What did you do?" And I'm not mad about it. I'm not even upset. I don't even look like nothing's been touched on me. So just so happened when I get down to the county, and there's a whole story about going down and being the county. There's a whole story about this.
Another story, different podcast.
When I get to the school district police thing, I have to ask them if I can make a call. I call my auntie. I said, "Auntie,
call your husband or your brother?"
No, girl, no.
Girl, I've been calling my brother first.
No, I called my auntie and I said, "Auntie, damn it, Shell. I told you."
You have a collect call from caller.
This is before I got downtown. And I said, "I told you not to go in there." I said, "Auntie, this is not the time. They gonna take me down to county. I'm just letting you know." So she called one of my cousins who know about county. Okay. He know how it worked. So he gonna figure out what happened.
Gonna tell you how to
walk through the thing. Okay. So then I have to call my husband. We just came back to the country. He don't know what's going on. I eventually have to call him after I call my aunt and I tell him something happened. Of course, he doesn't understand what happened. He told me at the time when he called, he thought that I had killed him, but I didn't want to tell him that. Because he didn't understand he didn't understand the language. He couldn't drive, none of that. So I end up in Harris County jail for felony assault of a public servant and assault of a family member. The assault of a public servant is pretty serious.
It's very serious.
Yeah.
That's why when people say they're going to do something, I just be like,
it is serious.
All right, babe.
It is serious. But it comes down to that thing. Every time somebody says, "What you in here for?" I learned a lot that time. I learned a lot. Had I not been put in there, this story would have had a different ending. I needed to be in there. I did. I learned so much about myself and about people who drive in Houston drunk. There's a lot of them.
A lot.
I don't know why alcohol isn't illegal, because that's the problem. There were so many people in there. It made me change my mind about alcohol.
That wasn't a problem with girl code.
No, I'm just saying that's a whole other thing. So all this to say,
The girl code was broken.
it was more than broken.
Violent.
It was shattered.
Yeah.
It was shattered.
So because you went through that, girl code takes on a different meaning for you at this point.
A whole nother meaning.
Right.
Whole nother meaning.
Your trust is...
No, but I know what I would have done. I think I know what I would have done. Let me just be clear about that. People always say
it's not. So it wasn't just girl code. You realize at that point that you really are out here on your own, and you can't really count on anybody.
Do you trust women? Like, do you have that same amount of trust that you had with her? Are you able to put that in someone else, or do you feel like you ever put that in someone else?
No. And when I say I would have did anything for her, if she needed my heart, anything for her.
I think the only person I trust like that in this world, like out of anybody, I don't trust anybody more than I do my sister Kelly.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it. I'm not. That's
No,
kids
no,
included.
I mean,
That's kids included.
Well, and this is not anything against what you just said. Your story it needed to be told, because guess what? This ain't a scenario that probably has not happened.
Exactly.
But in our community, I think it's a little bit, especially in my opinion, for Gen X's.
Yeah.
That's wow.
Hold on.
That would have been something that you would have thought maybe been the generation before, because stuff was a little bit smaller and circles were a little smaller. It don't make sense, but I'm just saying it's wow. Think about it. I'm like, wow.
In case it matters, she's half white.
I don't think that matters.
I don't know. At the time, I thought it did.
It sounded like you were trying to help her get a pass. You're like, you know what?
Remember when we used to watch 90210, and then they would date Jenny on one day, and then Brenda on the next, and then Donna on the next?
Yeah, but that was a TV show.
I thought all white people did that.
No, ma'am. That's not how that works. That's not how that works.
Okay.
And no, she does not get a pass just because she's half white. She was your friend.
Yeah.
Your friend. When your friend violates you, crosses that line, that was your friend.
I would have much rather her stole my money.
Let's talk about some more fun stuff with girl code.
Okay. I'm just saying. Yeah, I know that was a
What
deep
does girl
start.
code mean to you, Elise?
We can take it back from, it used to mean something different from back in the day to now. When we went somewhere together, we all left together.
Yeah,
nobody got left behind.
Yeah.
You sure?
That's a fact.
What if he fine? What if he?
We had an issue with that, but you still gonna leave with us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who did that? Who? Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
No, we had a friend who was coming to visit us up at school, and she met somebody. Yes, Gorge. It was a dude from another school that came up to our homecoming. And he was in a fraternity, and he was in a black fraternity, but he was a white guy. So he had a totally different amount of swag.
Right.
And then he went to a HBCU. But she done snuck out. And then she gonna try to tiptoe back in. Bitch, we see you and we hear you. Where were you?
She's a repeater. She's a repeat offender. let me
But
take
she's
her back.
still on the squad, though. Still on the squad.
She
Always
definitely
on the
is.
squad. When we were in high school, we went to Crawfish Festival. Was a big thing back then in spring.
It still is,
right?
girl.
It still is, yeah.
Her mother was strict, yo. Her mother was strict, and the scariest
Yeah.
Listen, she never did anything to me. But she got
you
that
wouldn't
voice.
cross her. You don't want to cross
Two
her.
people I want to cross was Willie, your mama, and
The other mom.
Okay. Listen, we went to Crawfish Festival. She ride back with her boyfriend, who was 2 years older than her at the time, and they was doing whatever. And she's supposed to be spending the night at my house. Listen, I get back to my house. She ain't with me. I don't know where she at. Have no idea why her parents looking for her that night. I had freedom. I had pretty much freedom, but I wasn't doing any of that stuff back in the days. Yeah, when
You said,
when her mama came to the house, my parents was so pissed at me because they're like, because now they look like the bad parents.
Right,
Like,
exactly.
you know what I'm saying?
she's supposed to be under our roof and taking care of her. And
What they doing now? Yeah. So she a repeat offender. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. Got me in trouble too.
She's still down with us though.
for sure.
She's still on the
But she
squad.
violated girls' code though.
Yeah,
Twice. I feel like the girls these days, because they don't have these tight friendships, I feel like I wouldn't trust any of these females out there now, these young ones.
No.
If I put you in a situation, I feel like they are more susceptible to that than we were back in the day.
Yeah, but you know
I
why
don't-
though? Because they have one thing we had was pride, honor, and shame.
And we had
Shame was big. They need to bring back shame.
They need to bring it. I mean, they need to bring it all the way back.
Our mamas don't know exactly what we were doing, how we were doing. It stopped us from doing a lot of stuff too.
Yeah.
Don't
Right.
get it twisted. Like, this is not.
No, they don't have shame at all. They don't have fear. They don't fear God. They don't fear police. They don't fear embarrassment. They fear nothing. Fear, a healthy dose of fear. Has kept me from.
At least you acknowledge that.
Like, you said younger generation.
Yeah.
I admire Callie and her friends because they're like us. They're tight. They look out for one another. Mm-hmm. If they see something happening in the bathroom, Callie talks to everybody in the bathroom. She makes sure that you're straight. Like, they're not going to let you not be okay.
That's good to know. But Callie's also an older millennial.
She is an older millennial. She sure is.
And she's your child.
And so that's
what I have noticed from just hearing all of our conversations is the reason why you guys as kids, because Brooklyn's still young, they have seen true friendship to know that if that's your friend, this is what you do. It's like an unwritten rule because they see it from us. Just like our parents didn't know how to show us, we actually showed our parents. Because my mom is like, you know what, y'all been friends for a long time. My mom used to be like, you know what, I'll drop people for less. Because if she didn't have the space in her head to be like trying to deal with her own stuff and then deal with somebody else's if they didn't, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She gave him like 3 chances to do something. You know what I'm saying? Okay.
No.
Now this person is really not on my side.
I grew up not in Texas, right? Obviously, I spent most of my formative years in Texas, but I remember our time in New York when we were younger. Mm-hmm. I remember like when I would go to Trinidad and be with my dad and them, their friends that surrounded them are the friends that they have today. My dad talks about the friends he had since he was younger. 9, 8, 9,
right,
10.
But see what I'm saying? That
and they are
still
around today.
And then still on to your kids.
Exactly.
Right.
And when you guys would come visit me, not you so much, it doesn't matter if it was these sister friends or my cousin sisters. When we wake up in the morning, what happened? Everybody ended up in our bed.
Yep.
And we would sit there and talk. And my kids too, they would just pile on and we just sit there and talk. And that's just what.
Because I started to come to your room yesterday and I was like, I don't feel like climbing up in that bed. That's the only reason
we even have an iconic picture.
Yeah, we have a few pictures.
We have pictures in the bed.
Yeah, just with folks in the bed.
Yeah.
No,
look, no Diddy.
Just laying in the bed talking.
Girl code, no
doubt.
Okay.
My mom was an only child, so she was always with my cousins. Those were her friends, right? Yeah. But she had a very good friend from the neighborhood. That was her friend all of my life. And I guess when maybe COVID hit, I think they didn't follow up. You lose contact.
Yeah.
And she talks about her quite often. She wonders how she's doing and if I've heard anything about her. But when growing up, she was who I saw my mom always with. She had another couple of friends that she was good friends with, but this one in particular, she still talks about her, still wonders how she's doing. My mom's friends were her cousins. Mm-hmm. That's why I love my cousins so much because I saw the bond with my mom and my cousins. I don't get to see my cousins because, of course, we're in San Antonio and they're all in the Houston area. The way when my mom was growing up, they saw each other every day or in the summertime on the weekends because they would travel from San Antonio to Navasota and there was always somebody there at the house. So that's how I don't want to say how I learned to bond with my cousins, but I love my cousins so much that if I didn't have friends, they're my friends.
Oh, first best friends for sure.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yes, y'all know me and my cousins.
Yeah.
And I only have on my dad's side, I think I have 2. I have a few male cousins, but I have more girl cousins than I do boy cousins.
Yeah, all of them.
So shoot, give us some questions.
A question
about girl code. Okay, I got one. So say you're married, which you're the only person married now. But say you decide that you want to fool around on the side. And we're like, Shell, that's not right, whatever. That's a girl code. You don't tell.
No.
Look, I said it wasn't right. That's my opinion, but I'm not going to say nothing.
Hold on. There's a question. I'm married.
Yep.
Okay. You see my husband out with somebody.
I'm telling.
Baby.
Okay.
Oh, baby.
That's what I need you. That's what I need you to do.
They're not going to even make it past me before I'm texting.
Exactly.
Let me see.
Not everybody. That is y'all. Other females I know who are like acquaintances, I'm not telling them.
No, I'm not getting in that business.
I need to know. I need pictures.
No.
Okay. I'm going to go up to them.
Hey, how you doing? The people in this room are maybe like a handful. Y'all know.
Yeah, right.
Other than that, I'm not telling. I might give you a look. I might text the dude and be like, you wrong, but I'm not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But no.
I ain't saying nothing because there ain't gonna be no evidence.
As your friend, if you're having an affair and you come and you say, I think about having this affair, I'm going to ask questions. Why are you unhappy? Are you unhappy at home? I'm not going to necessarily encourage it.
Absolutely not.
But I need to know why you're doing this. I'm not going to try to talk you out of it because that's their business. But if he were to come to me and say, did you know about it?
I think but if it was a situation where this couple, I can't really think of any that we really know like that, where you have a good marriage, you have a good solid marriage, and we know the dude, we like him too or whatever, right? It would be a conversation. Like, why? No, not just why you're doing this. Is not just wrong. Or why are you jeopardizing
Your
this
Your relationship.
good
Right,
person?
you're right. That's totally different. But I had a friend.
I still ain't telling, but I'm just saying. We're
Right.
gonna have a conversation.
Sometimes you're biased because I have a friend who is considered one of my plus ones. Her significant that she's still married to has never been a good fit for her. She's only in it for her children. Now her child just
Graduated.
So now things are different. But I used to tell her, hey, listen, if you gonna use me, you got to tell me.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I
No.
can't have your back.
No.
you have to. You have to.
I'm just
if
saying,
you seeing somebody on the side and you telling that you with me, you best to tell me. That means if he sees me out somewhere, I can't have your back. You gonna have me slipping up.
No, you're gonna-
Now, that's what's not cool.
Mo, I know you. You ain't gonna slip.
No,
gonna be like,
no, you're right.
Yeah, girl. Oh, hey.
know-
She said she with you.
Is he? Because if he knows you, he can be like, oh, no, that bitch lying.
No. He ain't gonna.
Yeah,
we good
'cause
at this.
You know what?
Tell
You're right.
yourself.
Okay, I'm just saying.
She right though, because
On-
I've
on
looked
the
him.
dime.
I looked him straight in his face. Talk about yeah. Y'all went to such and such. That was the second place.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Oh, I didn't tell on myself.
I'm just saying.
Look, I didn't tell on
I'm
myself.
just sitting here looking.
Sure, I can pivot on a dime now.
I ain't in it.
I
saying.
don't like to lie. I do not like to lie. I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to tell you how I feel. And if you
If the
don't know how
man
I feel,
came
you're going
to
to know.
you and asked you, was this bitch with you? Or whatever. His wife.
I'm going to stand there like a deer in headlights.
First of all-
I can't
No, first of all,
lie.
I would
I'm
be upset
scary.
with you.
No,
I
that-
would be. I would do it. I would
do
lie
it.
for you.
I would
but
do
I
it.
would be
But you
pissed
don't get
off.
cussed out.
Yeah,
You don't get cussed out.
I would do
Oh,
it.
for sure you gonna get it.
First of all, they ain't asking me that. Like, what? You gonna ask me that? We gonna have a problem with that. But,
I think you're the only one that folks probably be like.
No,
Yeah.
don't.
Have you seen her?
I don't know you. Don't be coming up and asking me about her. We ain't related.
I would do it. I would do it, but I don't like to lie. I definitely and
don't.
now at this point in my life, even me lying, I give it away. My face.
I'm
gives
so
it
glad
away.
we too old to be.
I can't. I'm
have
menopausal.
affairs.
I can't remember your story.
Okay.
And if I can't remember your
You said
story, I
too
can't
old to
help
be
you.
having an affair?
to have stuff we can't remember because when you have affairs,
You got to remember the
Yeah,
lie and
have
everything.
together.
Yeah.
And I don't
Don't
have-
ask me. Yeah, I don't have it.
No,
It's just too easy just to slip up. I'm rather
we
just tell
don't
the
do
truth.
it. We don't
Yeah,
do
exactly.
it.
It'd be like, huh?
No.
Yeah.
Or just do what?
If it ain't working out at this age and you still there,
Then that's on you. And don't
don't
be with
call me
that.
because you should have left him 15 years ago.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? No, but we're.
But I mean, with situations like that, you have to just let the person do. If you're happy, okay, whatever. I don't want to rehash it. I don't want to bring it back up because I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings again. However, you just have to let the person do what they're going to do.
Oh, yes.
Because
Talked
I'm going to
about it,
still
it's
be here
like,
for you.
still- yeah.
You got to run its course.
I love you. I don't necessarily love the situation. But if that's what you want to do, then okay.
Yeah.
You're going to do it.
And all that. Tell them all the time. I play for your team. Now y'all team together. That's that. I don't know what team that is. The maiden name team. I'm all about that team.
If we lived in the
that
same...
And I know what you mean. I know exactly what you're talking about.
That's it.
Same.
If we would have lived in the same city, the situation could have been different because
Yeah, you would have more.
I'm not
sway.
opposed to beating somebody up.
So what
So-
about, have you ever been,
Hold on, Kim. You ever had a fight?
I haven't, but I'm not opposed to it. No, not now because of course I'm not.
she's
me.
going to lose because what's she going to do?
I'm not me now, but
Don't
I'm
try
not
that
opposed
bitch,
to
though.
it. No,
You
I
don't
have
seem like
never
a
Try
had.
that bitch. You might jump
You don't
straight.
seem violent or aggressive in any way, Kim.
I
Chill,
try
nobody
not
in this room
to.
is violent and aggressive.
I try not.
Except-
Except
It doesn't mean it won't swing. Don't come for me though.
Yeah, I try
yeah.
not to. I
but-
don't want to.
But I'm passionate
I'm
about the
athletic.
things I'm passionate about.
And I think you say that because when I get mad, I don't pop off. I
No,
don't like
you don't.
just let it be.
Oh no, but
I
you
do
have
let
popped off before.
not in
No,
the sense.
but she walk
that-
away. I see her walk away.
It's easier for me to just walk away because my tongue is so sharp And I have to be mindful. I don't want to hurt anybody. And I don't ever want to hurt any of my friends. But if we're getting to the point that you just continue, then I don't consider you my friend anymore. And I do have to hurt you.
Have you ever been in a situation where you've had to like choose between two of your girls?
No.
Yes.
Really?
And it was only because of mental, not choose, I'm not going to be your friend, but choose how I deal with you. It's going to be a little bit different.
Or even situational. Maybe not like I got to choose this friend over this one because I love her more than that. But
yeah, not that.
Like
not
situational has everything.
What's the person? That's a whole nother story. When I lived in France, I had a friend who was older than me. And when I was younger, it was nice because she could lead me the way. But then I got older. And that person never allowed me to be a person,
an adult,
at all. Not only that, but I realized that she was also demeaning me, like devaluing me.
Was she, or that's just how you felt?
No, she was.
How?
Okay.
Because I have a younger friend, and I've talked about it before. We're 18, 19 years apart. And I love her dearly, but I'm just curious how. I don't think I've ever devalued her or demeaned her.
Yeah.
I hope not. And friend, if ever that's happened, please let me know.
So I don't
think it's happened.
There's an incident. This person is very talented. She's a very talented chef, worked as a professional chef, and a very talented couturier. Went to one of the best schools in Paris. Somebody who does sewing. But more than a seamstress. It's an art too. Yeah, she went to school, a special school there. And so she's really good at it. She does really well at professional level. But we would always be around. She liked me around. And I was a singer. And French people have a special thing about singers. And so whenever she would be with her friends and they'd say, can you bring Royshell along? It was always a thing where I was her plus one wherever we went. So she's going to be part of the Paris Auto Show. She does translation for one of the car makers. And she said, would you like to go? Now, this is before it opened. So it's that night where it's just special invite only. And she said, I would like for you to go, but I don't want you to talk to anybody because this is my night. And I was like, okay, because I really want to go. So I go, and she's the one who wants to talk to everybody because some reason people flock to me.
Because you always have a story, Shell. That's why you're the storyteller.
Okay. So I'm there and I'm trying to avoid people. When you try to avoid people, people try to figure out why you're avoiding people.
Right.
Well, you're here in your corner. Come over here with us. And every time I would do that, she would like, oh, what you say that man? You flirting with that man? I don't know what you're talking about. And I realized that and so then at one point they were asking.
She was jealous.
I was going to say, this sounds like jealousy.
Yes. And then at one point they were talking about, I told them I was a singer and she's like, she sings in the subway. Like she was saying that like it was going to demean me somehow. And they're like, oh, that's fascinating.
Right.
It backfired. So after that, I realized, I said, I can't do this with her anymore. Can't do it anymore.
And of course, that also, I'm not trying to interrupt your conversation, but that goes to jealousy in the friend group. Because that's very common, jealousy in the friend group. And people never talk about that. No, don't talk about it.
Yeah. And she had a problem with her, when she was younger, she had a problem with her weight. And then she moved to France, and then she watched her weight. I mean,
Where's she from?
She's from Seattle, Washington. Now I was from Texas, and everybody from Texas is stupid and uneducated.
So how long has she been in Paris before you?
She spent most of her time in Paris, and she's about 15 years older than me. 15 years older than me.
And she was like in her mid to late 30s at the time.
No, correct. And then over time now I met her at 25, and then I was 40. I've changed. I learned some things. And she would always say how smart she was. I didn't want to play that game with people. I didn't want to play that game. And I always wondered, like, why am I friends with her? Like, why?
Sometimes you have to reevaluate your friendships.
And I literally just cut it off because I don't do the thing where we gonna talk about it. You don't even deserve an explanation. I'm done. I'm done. You don't deserve it.
Yeah.
I don't want to spend air, energy, or brain cells on you.
Because they know what they've done. They know what they've done. People know what they do to you. They just choose not to take accountability for it. When you cut people off, or I feel, once I cut you off, you know what the fuck you did to me.
Yeah.
Because again, that's why I hold grudges, right?
Yeah.
Because I've been good to you. Excuse me. She knew. Yeah.
And she kept sending me emails about stuff when her mom had passed away. I knew her mom. I knew everybody. And it was a kind of a sad thing. If I were walking the room and she would be in the room, I would leave.
Wow.
Yeah. Because I don't want the energy. Life is about energy.
When you cut a friendship and then you say, okay, I'm going to forgive you. I'm going to work it out. We're going to work it out. When you cut a friendship and they come back around, and when they express that they want to be friends again, or they show you, do you take, okay.
Hell no.
Do you?
No, done.
Do you, Mo?
Evidently we have, because you and I got into it. and we're still
No,
here.
that's different.
That's
no,
different.
I don't think it is because if there's tension.
No, it is.
No.
It's very different.
Well, what do you mean by you dropping people then? Maybe that's what I don't get.
Because we never dropped each other. We just weren't in the same space because we didn't live in the same area together. And
you had a disagreement. And
that wasn't a disagreement.
What was it?
I don't feel it was a disagreement. I felt at that time that it was a violation.
No, and please, I don't want to revisit because we've already crossed that bridge.
Everybody has done something that they didn't mean to do. Everybody's done it.
Yeah, of course.
And so we may not understand how the other person feels about it, and they have the right to their own story. And we have to just agree on that. I'm just trying to make the tension go away.
I guess if it didn't, I don't think it really applied to that.
And
No, but I guess I get now. No, I understand now what Kim was saying. We didn't drop each other.
No, but
regardless of what
but that was
the
a girl
verbiage
code.
of the situation.
That was a clear violation of girl code, though.
You keep using that word. I just said I understood.
Okay, I'm just okay.
Yeah.
just so we understand.
So I don't, and I'm saying I don't think we dropped each other. It was, we just, like nothing, I can't say it didn't, it did change. Eventually we started talking to each other again. I guess if we were like in the same space, because I didn't live in that city, I don't live in that city, it might have been different where it would have been a drop. But there was never a drop. Yeah, I don't feel it was a drop.
We're good, guys. We're good.
Okay, that's what I know. And
Girl code.
And they lived that happily ever after.
We're still here.
I don't want anybody to think we don't get annoyed with one another, because we do. And probably the one who
Listen, we all get annoyed with.
right.
Not individually.
Annoyed is light.
Right. And with this group, I'm probably the one who gets the most annoyed.
Oh, yes, yeah. We would all agree.
I agree.
get the most annoyed because I just don't have time for it.
You have stuff going on, and it's always like right there.
Yeah.
It's right at
Yeah.
the neck level. And we all have had stuff going on right there.
The neck level.
At the neck level. So sometimes it just comes up faster than probably would have if we were in a season where things were just cool. And none of us are in a season
Which is
where
why I
things are
try
just
to
kinda
keep.
cool.
I just try to keep my emotions low. I try my best. I do.
Girl code is a thing.
A real thing.
But yeah. Well, I'm glad we agree upon that.
Yeah.
I'm great. And
Let's
it's
get some more examples of girl code, because we talked about your situation. Because that was the biggest violation of girl code any of us in here could think of, right?
Okay, first, if we come together, we leave together. You can't date my ex-husband or my son ever. I don't care which husband I'm on.
Exactly. You just said
None of them.
Why you keep looking at us? Like
I'm just saying.
We
brother-
don't want him.
I could have a new brand new husband out the
cool
package.
and all, but
I came home with a new husband out the package. New car smell. Okay.
you stupid.
we can't date brothers.
Yeah. Depends on the brother.
No, because if your brother's like family, I've known you for a long time. That's different. Don't be.
I'm not on that.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Let them be single, guys. I've been single for a long time.
Listen.
Because
Just like I would have a problem if my brother tried to date.
No, as a sister.
No. That'd be like me.
Whatever, because you know what? Most people, most of my friends have had a little crushy crush on my brother at one time or another.
Not me.
It's been like a brother to me.
So we can't. It's a girl code. You can't date brothers. I don't know if
Our sons,
Definitely not son.
ex-husbands, any
ex-boyfriends.
Ex-boyfriend.
any ex-boyfriend.
Now, were y'all boyfriend, girlfriend, or were y'all just kicking it?
Like I was saying
Either
about
one,
the show.
though. Either one.
But did you say something in the very beginning?
If I wanted to hang out with somebody that you knew from back in the day, but y'all just used to like,
No.
okay, no, here, I'm gonna give you a good example.
It's like gum that you spit out and then I pick it up and put
Because
it in
you know
my
what?
mouth.
Because it was never a thing.
Yeah, you
Now,
say that.
let me just say
It
this.
wasn't.
Let me just say this.
It wasn't ever a thing. I think I would be okay with any of y'all. I'd be like, go for it. He's a good dude.
The problem is we have different tastes. Thank God.
Of course. I'm
but
just
not
giving it
that
as an
person. That
example.
person was still a good looking person and very educated and just
Yes,
cool.
That is true. Oh, but girl code is pretty simple. Okay, now if you,
Okay, well, you know what, Royshell? I guess for you, we know that if it was somebody you just kicked it back in the day, that's not going to happen.
I think also for me, girl code is I want to see all my friends win. I don't care what friend group you're in. If I call you my friend, man, I want to see you win. There's no jealousy. There's no hate. And again, I did say that there's always, and there's not always jealousy, but there's jealousy in the friend group. With me, it's never any kind of jealousy. Like, I'm happy for you. I'm genuinely happy for you. You're doing what you're supposed to be doing. And I just want to see you win. Yeah. I just want to see us all eat. But not everybody can say that.
I want to see all you bitches win. That's why we started the podcast, because I want to see everybody win. What about if... No, never mind.
What?
No, I was going to say when your kids are small, if I send my kid, I guess it depends on the friend. So are you allowed to discipline my child? Would I be allowed to discipline your child?
Depends on the friend.
If we there and she acting a fool, yeah.
I was about to say, because don't do something that I wouldn't do. I wouldn't spank your child if I don't spank mine.
Kim, you feel differently about that, don't you?
Not really, because if it's corporal punishment, I know she did or they did something really rough for them to have corporal punishment.
I think that
it depends, like you said, on the friend. Not everybody could hit my kid. I get that and I understand that. But if you have or when they were little, if you'd have had one of mine or both of them and they did something, you don't have to call me when I get there.
Exactly.
Because it's your house, your rules. If they did it and it was warranted.
Yes.
What if
not just to be hitting them.
What if your child doesn't? What if my father did not spank, and I told you I didn't get spanked as like I thought I did either. What if that person doesn't spank and you do, and their kid was at your house?
Again, for me, it has to be something that it's warranted, and I will call you. And if I can't spank your kid, then I don't need your kid at my house. Yeah, you need to come pick your kid up. I'm not just going to spank somebody's kid just to be spanking somebody's. But yeah, if you're not, they're going to go sit in a room until you come pick them up. They're not going to be up.
Back in the day when we grew up, you might have got your ass whipped like 3 times because you was acting up in the street. So one neighbor may have saw you. Then they told your mama. Then your mama whooped your ass. Then possibly your daddy or whoever else was there. They going to get you too because they're like, because you know better. You know what I'm saying? It was different then.
It was different then. You could hit, and they hit for a lot of reasons. And I can't.
And all of them wasn't good.
I thought I got hit more than I did.
and all of them may not have been good. You be like, you whooped them for that. But back in the day,
exactly.
I just caught what you were talking about.
Didn't know.
I just caught you a false memory.
Yeah. What's that called again when you have a false memory?
A false memory.
No, there's a name for it.
For our listeners, if you don't know,
delusion.
Like, I thought for 51 years of my life that my stepdad spanked us all the time. Come to find out from my brother, who was the bad one, who I thought I got spanked for all the time, and he never spanked us. He used to crack that belt in front of us, though, and apparently in my mind,
that was
when
enough.
He cracked that belt, I thought I got my ass beat, but I
it was a false memory.
Never spanked me in my life.
The Mandela effect. The Mandela effect.
Maybe it is the Mandela effect.
Yeah.
Jump timelines.
But I could not remember it. I was
you
like,
jump timelines.
Yo,
my grandmother did spank me though.
Grandmothers are different. One thing I do want to say is I'm glad that as we grow older, some of the codes that we know in our written friend Bible that we know as codes, I'm glad that we're able to talk about it. And going forward, we're always like, okay, will the code ever change once you get older?
No.
If you lose your memory, that's different.
No. But even then,
it's evolved.
Even then,
it's evolution.
There's some stuff that would just not change. Yeah. I'm looking to lose my memory. Right. I still won't eat non-food items.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's some stuff you remember.
No, did it? Right. Girl Code. Another excellent episode.
It was excellent. And I'm so glad everybody in this room understands girl code.
What, listener, is your interpretation of girl code? What would you do? What would you not do? Would you date your friend's ex jump off? Would you?
All right, listeners, don't forget to share, subscribe, and follow.
We have come to the end of our conversation. We certainly thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you again. Always remember that the journey of friendship is built on the path of loyalty, acceptance, and grace.